are ready.
Okay, well, I'll get things started since I don't see Eric yet. You know, I only have a few panels of people on my Zoom right now, but I don't see Eric, so.
Mary, we need 5 for a quorum. Is that true or no?
Do we need 4 or 5?
I thought it was, you need a minimum of 3.
Oh, okay.
So I could be
Okay.
wrong. Oh, Fran's not going to be here today. He would have been the one to ask, but
Yeah.
Right,
I just remember we almost canceled the meeting because we didn't have 3 people several times. So I believe that's the minimum.
yeah, but I think 4 is okay
Yeah.
out of 5. So I guess everybody here will be voting. Anyway, good evening. This is a regular meeting of the Zoning Commission. It is May 27th, 2021. I am Mary Capiello. With us tonight are Tony Fernandez, Leslie Ruggiero, and alternates Frank Kwok and Kurt Timmerman, both of whom will be voting tonight as 2 commissioners are absent. Sorry, I just had some crazy pop up on my screen. Okay, so the review of the May 13th minutes. Any comments or corrections? All right, somebody have a motion to approve?
Make a
Make a
motion.
motion to approve the minutes
Go ahead.
of the May 13th meeting.
All right,
Second.
awesome. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? All right, the motion carries. So that's good. Land use enforcement report would normally be now, but Fran is unavailable tonight, so we will get that from him next time. Review correspondence. Everyone received the minutes from our related boards and commissions. It's always nice to see what they're doing. All right, and then 5, we had continued public hearings at 128 Federal Road, Z-21-26 for proposed retail commercial building. We're still waiting for them to resubmit their paperwork. The public hearing close date is today. We do have extension time available. There's 90 days from that special thing that the governor put out a while back. And we have an additional 65 days even after that. That was Executive Order 71 that the governor signed, allowing 90 days extra. I'm assuming that's still in place. I tried to go on the state website and see if he'd rescinded that, and I didn't see any evidence of that. So I'm assuming that 90 days is still open for people. Guessing we would need a motion to extend the public hearing close date. And I did look into it. 90 days, if we did the 90 days, that gets us to August 25th, would be the new public hearing close date. We meet the next day, which is August 26th, which makes it 91 days. We also meet 3 times before that, June 10th, 24th, and July 20th. Does anybody here know if we could do the 90 days and then use one of the 65 additional days to make it 91 days?
Well, I believe that we wouldn't have any issues pushing it out to the next meeting and then deciding on, then you can have Fran and Eric here to talk about it. But since we have 90 days, I think the safe thing to do would be to go out one meeting and determine a new date at that time.
Okay. So if we just extend it, how many more days? 14 days till our next meeting?
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
So we could make the motion to extend it the 14 days.
So to our next regular meeting?
Yeah, which is 14 days out.
Okay. So I make a motion to extend application Z-21-26 and table it into our next regular meeting.
Second.
All right. So we're doing both those things in the same motion,
Okay.
giving the 14-day extension and tabling it.
Okay.
Okay. All in, I knew that was second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstain? All right, so that's taken care of for 2 more weeks. Just by the way, just a little housekeeping matter. Is Kurt actually here?
No, I don't believe so. No.
Oh,
I
I'm
didn't-
sorry.
I didn't see him.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think I might have, when I opened the meeting, I think I said he was here.
You did, and I was like, is he here? I didn't see his Brady Bunch square.
I know I have these tiny little squares and then other people were coming in. I'm like, he must be if I just click the arrow over. So Kurt, just to amend what I said earlier today, Kurt is not in fact here. So it is the 4 of us.
Mhm.
Okay, sorry about that. Just want to get that on the record that Kurt is not here, at least at the moment. If he joins us, then we'll add him in. All right, old business. We had 83 Federal Road, Z-21-8, the site plan modification for proposed food truck at the Exxon Mobil station. Is anyone here for that?
I am here. Hello,
Hi, and could you just give us your name and address for the record?
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Fadi, 83 Federal Road. Okay. How are you?
Good, how are you tonight? Okay. So we saw
Good.
some,
Did you get my address and name?
did you get that name, Allison?
I know what address this is for, but I didn't get your full name, please.
Fadi Kumbarji.
Okay, and can you please spell it?
Fadi, and then last name Qumbargi.
Thank you.
Okay,
You're welcome.
all right, so how are you tonight?
I'm away from my twin daughters for a few minutes, so
Oh, boy.
that is a big question. I don't know, we're crunching on time.
Okay, so how are we with the new site plan and everything like that?
I did the measurements. I saw the notes from both police and fire department. I couldn't comment to them. I didn't see a way to like comment to it because the way the fire department brought it in, I don't know if he realized that 1 through 5 spot is really just a one-way exit. It's not an entrance, and then we have the median on the other side of the road. So cars only exit from that driveway. We never really have people pulling in. I feel like if people tried to pull in from there, that would be a very unsafe, and you'd have road rage right behind you, given that, everybody comes off that highway, they turn, and it's immediately like an acceleration kind of pattern. So people are really trying to floor and go as fast as they can to get to Costco.
Yeah,
But I feel like the parking is adequate, even if you wanted to remove 1 or 2 from what that site plan show. Fran mentioned that we generally need 11 parking spots on that site. I agree with the officer in terms of him saying, put a couple of no parking signs against that, the side of the road. I don't really think we'll be able to make people respect that. People generally already kind of park there anyway. The area I'm talking about? Parallel to the pumps.
okay. Mhm.
Yeah, following Federal Road. So if and I wasn't indicating that any of those would be parking spots. But already against where those cars indicating 1 through 5, we already have cars there and they work really well. And we have the standard 9x18. We can even angle it and do 9x20. We can angle it the other way, so it opens up the driveway more. But the driveway is really big, so even cars exiting, we've had an example with a fuel truck delivery and having those cars parked where 1 through 5 are, and no problem. I was just like, hey, I'm gonna walk over to the next lot. Let me know what you think as you're exiting. And the guy was like, yeah, no problem. It was not an issue, leaving the facility. So I hope I got most of the things that could be viewed as a safety concern. I think we're good, honestly. Your views, please.
Chairman Cook just arrived at what application are we on?
Oh, terrific. Is he here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Z-21-8, 83 Federal Road. We're talking about the food truck property. Yeah. So what I believe we just heard is that what is currently before us is what they plan to proceed with.
Okay, yeah, and I looked at it. I looked at the maps, I looked at everything else, and I saw that the parking was also in front of the bays, right?
Well, he didn't want that or something, so we can remove those 2 spots. So no matter how you look at it, if you remove those 2, and even if you remove 2 where we would put the food truck, we still have above 11 spots very comfortably. So the way we measured those is we placed cars where the 1 through 5 are, We angled the spots where the bays were, but we kind of knew you guys were going to pull that out. We actually had the very last week, Eversource was doing a lot of work. So there was an officer kind of patrolling that area, I guess, as a safety for those workers. And I just kind of picked his brain, and he was just like, I don't think they're going to approve that. But other than that, it looks good. He was like, those 5 spots look good. They look fine. You do have enough space on this driveway. He was not the officer that came down for this. He was just one of the guys who was there, I guess protecting Eversource or making sure people don't speed or hit the guys. But I mean, you guys are welcome to pass by now, and you'll see that, even as we park those 5 cars, those bays are not blocked off. They fit comfortably. Even if you wanted to tell me, like, between those 2 lights where 1 through 5 are, if you wanted me to remove some of that, it's more like weeds and dirt and there's like a concrete block from where the air pump was, and we can push that blacktop a little bit back, we can make it look really nice. And I would like it to look a lot better. It's just at this point, we're kind of just saying, hey, can we do something beautiful, or is my last resort this becoming like a used tire spot? And I really don't want to do used tires. I really want good food. I don't see, that's why I didn't approach the people next door or even across the street, because I think, 11 is good. And kind of like what I said before, it's going to be like small batch, there's just not enough space to really do epic numbers. I'm not looking for epic numbers. If you guys ever come by to the shop, I mean, I pretty much just, also the shop is run currently for just because of the stresses of like how people try to haggle in Brookfield when they go to a mechanic shop. It's like everybody wants to sell their car, but they're coming to fix it. So we basically just work on extended warranties. Apparently I'm the only ASE master certified technician within a 30-mile radius, and BMW and ZF approved. So we're just doing that kind of work. It's really very basic. We're not, and $50 oil changes for just like the little bit of free time. I could do more specials and crazier things, which would be the other alternative of used tires, but let's not get into that. Just looking for, something that can be a positive impact, can be good quality. I'm kind of sick of eating all the fast food. I was going like 14 years without eating fast food, and now I'm eating like Chick-fil-A.
Hi, this is Frank Polk. I just want to be clear on the number of spots you're referring to in front of the bays. Did you say 5 or 6?
So in front of the bays, we can remove the 2 spots. There were 2 spots, but on the side, very close to where the bays are, it would be 5. So I sent in 2, and basically, even if you took 6, the one with 6 away, and you wanted to use the 5, I left it really to your discrepancy, because 5 is even more open for the driveway. It really doesn't even, it can give you that safety caution if you want more. And then I can paint these. I can paint them, number them, or I can just paint them. But I mean, it's really at your discretion, because no matter how you look at it, even if you remove the 2 at the bay, you just say, let's do 5 only on that side. Where the truck is, we have a minimum of 6. So that gives us the 11 that Fran said that we need for that building size and that property.
Any other questions from anyone else?
I mean, it's a really big space. We got 22,000 square feet. We really have an acre, but we can't touch the back. Another 20,000 square feet.
I think in one of our last meetings, Kurt had a question about the space dimensions for the handicap spot. Was that attended to, sir?
Yeah, it shows the handicap spot on both those images, and they are the requirement that was told. So this was the previous person who did it. They're no longer here, but they followed the guidelines when making the latest site plan. So everything is, to code. if you'd like me to amend something to this and come back to the zoning meeting showing that, or however you want me to show that, you know, I'm confident. And if you guys came to the spot, I have 5 cars parked against the area where we're referring to as 1 through 5, and very comfortable, very loose, very open doors, closed, no problem. You know, the parking, I believe, is, if we just need 11, we really do have more than 11. You know, at minimum, you know, we have 13, I believe. I'm not looking at the site plan in front of me right now. But there really is parking, you know.
Anything else, Frank?
No, that's it. Thank you, Aaron.
Is there anything from anybody else in the commission?
You know, if I,
No?
No.
On the map we have here, I'm just
you're
curious,
gonna be even better with this food truck.
are the
There's my
parking
salesman
spaces,
in line.
are the parking spaces we have on our map just for reference, or are they to scale with the amount of space between them and all that?
They're all to scale, and they all measure up to the 9x18 that are required by what Fran told me. So
Okay.
if I do them angled, if you guys said to me, even Fadi, let's do it angled instead, it then comes into the 9x20, and I can work it out. It actually works out really well. And actually I stumbled upon it. Like a customer pulled in and parked that way, and I was like, oh, he shouldn't park that way. And then I was like, light bulb. I was like, wait, this works. This is it. This is what I was looking for, you know? And we've actually gotten really packed in the last few weeks doing a lot of crazy big jobs. And that's how I've been parking cars. And we've been testing it, you know, we've been testing it with not just hypothetically or just like, you know, talking or supposedly or trying to give you something to sell this. We tested it. It's being tested right now. The cars are there. People are in and out. No accidents are being caused by those cars. Everything's comfortable. You know, if I thought this was a safety issue, I would have talked to the people next door, or maybe I would have said, we should, and I will still happily do this. If you say to me, you know, that area in front of those 5 spots, it is all weeds. It's bushes and weeds, and a concrete slab. If you say to me, open that up more, that's not a hard thing. A landscaper, a guy to remove some of the dirt and the weeds, and blacktop it to open up. I mean, I have that whole property. That whole area is mine.
You know, you just kind of raised a concern to me, is that you just told me that your parking lot's been full without having the food truck. And now you're going to have a food truck. How are you going to do the overage of that parking?
So we're sticking to pushing forward on just doing extended warranty work by appointment. The last month or so, I came down with shingles, which really disabled me. And I think, you know, one of the things that my mentor does is, one of the reasons he retired, and I kind of don't let him retire, is his wrists and his body. And I think it's catching up to me already, and I'm not even 40 yet. So once we stick to just doing extended warranty contracts, you know, that lot won't even be that full. And it's full, not just because we're busy, but a lot of those cars are mine. I have personally put the Mercedes that's there, that's mine. There's a Ford Fusion that's there, that's mine. My BMW is there, that's mine. Today I came in with my Volvo. I intentionally packed this lot to test this out. I didn't just want to give you some supposed theory. Otherwise, the shop doesn't fix more than 15 cars a month. It's generally like around 10. This will be our busier season, and come by end of summer, we're going to die down again. We'll probably go down to doing 5 or 6 cars a month. But they are big jobs. They sit in the bays for days doing complete cylinder head removals, and pistons. I mean, I'm doing heavy work. It's not a one.
How much deeper does your property go?
A lot is only full this last 2 weeks because of my experimenting. Excuse me?
How much deeper does your property go? You mentioned you still have some space.
Well, I have a lot of space. I have 0.9, it's either 0.92 or 0.94 acres.
because I have to be honest, I still have concerns about the corner of car number 5.
Well, number 5 does not affect the corner. It doesn't,
Excuse-
it goes before the light and it's very open. It's very open. If you were to drive there now, pull into the gas station and leave, you would comfortably leave and you would not be, you would have no issues. If you guys really want to push this one more time and you want to drive through and just see, feel it out. I mean, I pull out of there. I've set this up so it can be a valid test. I haven't set it up like in prayer or in hope or hypothetical. This is currently working.
I wonder if we shouldn't do that, because I'm looking at the site plan and I don't know if it's just me. I'm not an expert at reading these, but I only see the 5 spots. So I don't know where the other spots are that make up the 11.
In front of the garage doors, Leslie.
But
No.
are
In
they
front of the
marked?
garage doors would be no spot.
Are they marked though? Because I don't see them marked on the site plan. Like I'm just not getting
Yep.
this.
You got the new one?
I don't have the new one.
I clicked on the one that Nina sent us.
That has up to 14 spots.
I don't have that one.
No.
If you go
I think it was
online,
attached to
you
our
can
agenda.
I mean, even if you wanted to say, remove number 5 and just park 4 cars there, and I can remake another map that shows 4 and the other the other spots. We still have 11 spots. We still have the bare minimum that we need to proceed.
Mhm.
I must be looking.
I
at
mean,
the
if you
wrong
guys really
document.
don't want the food truck, I'm just looking for something that's more very much focused on an organic. I don't think it's going to be a real rave because I don't think I have a set menu that's just going to be like, this is what you're always going to have at this location. This is going to be very much like this Berkshire style bacon.
Well, first off, it's not about the food truck at all. I actually think after knowing this commission for a little while, I think the commission is actually in favor of food trucks. We have them elsewhere, and that's not the issue. The issue is the safety and the parking. 100%. And I'm telling you, I'm looking at it. I'm trying to think because you know what? I know you're a businessman. I know you want to make money, and I heard you throw out this whole resale and tires. I don't know if you're going to do it or not, but you know what? At the end of the day, I don't want tires out there or anything else. But I still have to make sure that you have enough parking spots that you can do your pre-existing business and use the food truck. And it's not on like a quiet day. It's like on any day. So on your busy day, I got to make sure that people can get in and out of there safely. In my own head, that this works. I think a food truck in that location would be great. I'm just worried about the parking spots and the parking for the place. That's my main concern, nothing more. And I applaud you for thinking outside the box and trying to do something more. Again, my concern is just the parking spots. Like in my head, 6 and 7 is not going to work at all because that's your bay. You're blocking your bay.
Yeah. And we already know about that. So we can remove that. That's not a problem. And like I said, even where those 1 through 5 cars are, that whole area in front of those cars, that like, it's all weeds, it's all like dirt, and there's a concrete pad there as well. If you tell me, hey, I'd actually feel better if we open that up some more and it won't even go to the full property line. My property line goes all the way from that angle. It goes all the way to the next lot. It goes just where they stop their lot. So I have that whole property and then it goes all the way up. So if we even wanted to open that up, we can have cars going in there and we can probably even fit more. Or we can even just put those, there's an ability to make more space. And I'm not resisting the idea of opening it up so it can give that space. I think that's a minor kind of like opening up to make it even safer. If you tell me like, oh yeah, you know what, let's do that so it makes it safer. Sure, that being contingent to that, sure, that's fine.
Yeah, because 6 and 7 for me doesn't work because that's your drive-through traffic. That's everything. So that definitely doesn't work for me.
6 and 7 would be the ones in front of the bay.
Right.
in front of the bay, yeah, and that's
Yeah,
also,
remove those from your minds. You know, I can have another site plan showing those removed. I got the police notes. I just couldn't respond. Like it just didn't give me an option to respond back to him. But we got that. We got that. That's fine.
let me ask my commission, does the commission want to, are they ready to vote on tonight, or they want to give the applicant another chance to redo the parking space and you to go out and see with the new map, how the parking is?
Option 2.
I personally would feel more comfortable if I could go over there and see the cars in the spots and know that it's safe.
Yeah, I would love for you guys to stop by, not just to check out the parking as well. You know, I don't think you can get a full synthetic oil change for less than $50. I mean, I really, everybody, like I get some people, they're like, oh, I can get it cheaper. I'm just like, it's not a full synthetic. Just like, it's not, whatever. And, you know, it's really just a way for me to kind of just say like, hey, get to know me. You know, people that are coming by are judging me basically on the fact that I'm a young guy who's here. They just think that I'm a rich guy. And then once they find out I'm a first generation Palestinian, I get a lot of hate. And they don't care that my wife is Jewish or anything like that. There's just like, you know, there's like a door shut, you know, for a beginning of the time, it was like, some people were like, don't tell people you're a Democrat. I was like, holy crap. You know, but judge me on my skills. You know, you guys want a good tech that is very thorough.
I can tell you right now that we won't judge you on your skills. We won't judge you on your religion. We won't judge you on your race, but we will probably
no, judge me
you
on my
your
skills. The skills you judge me on.
No,
please,
no,
my skills.
Seriously,
there's my
judgment on your
character.
parking spots and your safety. That's it. So
all right. For the
I would-
zoning in general, but on a moral standpoint.
What I would suggest you do though is give us then another site plan, and don't give it to us like 2 or 3 days prior. Try and get it done as quick as possible before the next meeting, so it gives the commissioners a time to go through and put exactly the parking spots on. And don't try to force them in there, because like I look at 6 and 7, and I'm going to tell you, I look at it and I just when I see something wrong, I just kind of go, okay, you're forcing it too much, and I'm not in favor. So give us something.
No, I gotta say the actual.
Go ahead.
Sorry, the way the map looks, the way the cars are parked, and the way the doors open and everything. It's better if you see it. It's better if you see the cars parked there. You'll see that the access out of that the parking lot is good. You'll see those 5 cars would be parked comfortably, and really nothing is forced. Like I parked those cars there. I could have squeezed it.
Go there.
Like if 6 was there.
I'm telling you right now, I went there, 6 and 7's forced. That's in my own view.
6 and 7 would be in front of the bay.
In front of the bay. You need to move in and out of the bay. I'm sorry. I won't accept those vehicles there.
Yeah, 6 and 7 will be removed. They won't be on the next site plan. I will only be putting 1 through 5. I can make 2 again. I can make 1 through 5 and 1 through 6. You can view it and you can decide 1 through 5 is good or 1 through 6 is good.
Can you do me a favor for my commission as well? Can you put an orange cone at the edge of 5?
You mean like at the lot?
At the lot, yeah. So we know exactly where 5 ends. When they drive in, we know where exactly 5 ends.
Good idea.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the cars are there. I'm going to have them really park them the way they're supposed to be. So please give me till Tuesday, if I may ask that request. So it looks a little cleaner, because I have them very wide apart.
Anyone's going to go there.
It's like really looking like you can park 7.
Yeah, you'll be fine. I don't think anyone's planning on going.
Enjoy the weekend. Well, I mean, hey, you guys want to pass by anyway for an oil change or something and just see it, please, you know, get to know us. I mean, I'm really, you know, looking for a community presence, relationship, you know, it's.
And before anyone goes
people
down
are
there,
very.
we want the new site map too with the parking.
Sure, I'll tell the person who made the map to update it with the ones in front of the bay removed. Anything else I have to do for that?
And you know, 11, I forgot who it was. I think it was Leslie. that commented about the dimensions of the handicap parking. And he said it was
No.
on scale.
That was Kurt. Well,
Was-
Kurt's not here, but
Okay. 11 to me on my map that I have is drawn exactly like 10 by a ruler and everything. So I'm not too sure how that's the scale. So just make sure it's the scale.
All right, I don't know what that's supposed to be. I don't know what that's supposed to be off the top of my head, and none of that I think was changed from the last time. Or maybe they added another spot where we could, but even if we had to take a car out of there and the 5 on the left and we had 6 like we originally had the last time, we have 11. But yeah, I mean,
Just make sure it's all good, and then we'll drive down, and then hopefully next time we can give you an answer and vote on it.
should I have some kind of cone or some kind of markings on that other side?
I'll
Because
tell
that
you,
whole lot, I figured,
whatever you can show us that really puts it forward is going to be the best for you, so we know. Because I'm telling you
Oh.
right now, I think for everybody on this board, it is only a safety issue. That's it.
cool. And I want to make sure that it's not like we are covering that well. That,
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, I appreciate you all. I'll definitely get you the map, and then I understand that you're gonna go look at it after the map.
Yeah.
And I
So if you
appreciate that
send the
you guys
map
are
on
gonna,
Tuesday, you'll know nobody goes there before Tuesday.
there you go.
okay. Well, I actually seeing that today's Thursday and I'm gonna make the request, I may not get it till Tuesday or Wednesday. And I don't
Exactly.
wanna bother that. I don't wanna step on somebody, like, I don't wanna put pressure on somebody. I hate that, so I don't do that.
Nope. Yep, no problem. And our
Um,
next meeting is, I believe it's June 10th, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Yep. So you got time. And I'm just asking for it to be a week before that meeting. So by
June
June
10th
3rd.
is the next meeting?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Tony.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I think we got this. If not, then I can go to the ZBA or the appeals board and we can try that out. But I think we're gonna be good. And I'll definitely do that and send that out to you guys.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Yep, take care, everybody.
Have a good night and have a great, safe weekend. All right, so 7.
Hey, everybody, sorry I'm late.
Hey, Kurt.
Kurt, I can't
Kurt.
believe you're late. I expect everybody to be on time. I was
Just
6
now.
You're absolutely right.
I was 6 minutes late
Snap.
myself. I had internet problems. All right, so on to 77 Federal Road. And that public hearing is scheduled for the next meeting, 6/10/21. Same thing with 117 Old State Road, Z-21-46. That's scheduled for 6/10/21. So it looks like that June meeting is going to be a pretty good long meeting. D, Gallows Road, Z-21-48. That is scheduled for 6/10/21. Do we have anybody here for 537 Federal Road, application Z-21-42, which is the special event for JJ Stacks? Joe? Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I can.
All right,
Look at that.
tell us what you want to do.
How are you, Eric? I actually probably don't remember me, but you did the closing on my mom's condo a couple of years ago in Bethel. Nice to meet you.
Okay, well then I'm going to have to, no, I didn't remember, so now I'm going to have to step aside when they vote.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that.
Nope.
No. So I guess you guys are all familiar with the property at this point, right? It's been
Yep.
there for a while. So I've got that big piece of lawn next to the mini golf course.
Yep.
And what I'd like to do is set up some bands on the back of that lawn. And Fran told me I had to get approval from you guys to do that. So that's why I'm here tonight.
All right, what's your days and hours you're proposing?
It would be Saturdays and or Sundays. I think I only put Saturdays on the application, but if you guys would do Sundays as well, I would be great with that.
What
And
timing
we
are
would-
you
we
looking
would
for?
finish before, on a Saturday, finish before 6, on a Sunday, finish before 5.
Oh,
So we would do, 3 to 5 or 4 to 6, nothing like late. I'm not looking to
Okay.
bring Metallica in at 10 o'clock or anything like that.
what's the earliest you'd want to do on Saturday?
No earlier than noon.
Okay, and what's the earliest you want to do on Sunday?
Same, no earlier than noon. So say 12 to 5, 12 to 6 on Saturday, 12 to 5 on Sunday.
Okay, And I don't know if you know, our commission prior, we were trying out the outdoor music, but we're doing it on a 30-day basis.
Yeah,
because-
Mike, I'm friendly with Mike over at Twins. He had, I guess.
Because we just want to make sure that, you're close to some residentials across the road.
Have the hills right
So-
across the street there. I
Right, so
totally
we want to
respect
give
that.
it 30 days and see if there's any complaints or anything else before we issue it again. So if you can bear with us, we want to make sure that, we know you guys were hurting over COVID, so we want to work with you. So all we're doing is asking you to work with us as well.
Totally understandable. And we want to keep a friendly relationship with our neighbors across the street as well. So I'm not looking to, do anything late and loud and keep people up. So I totally respect that.
Okay, and you still know anything that we approve, you still have to abide by the zoning ordinance of Brookfield for decibel levels and everything else anyways.
Is there a time frame on that, or is it?
Well,
Oh,
we're going to issue 12 to 6 and 12 to 5 if the board approves it, which I can't vote on now because I represented you.
Sorry.
Then you have the 12 to 6 and 12 to 5 for live bands on Saturday and Sunday for the next 30 days, but you still have to abide by whatever the town ordinance is for levels of decibels. That's all.
That was my question, is that I know sometimes the ordinances are based on a time frame, like it can't be a certain level after 8 o'clock, or it can't be a certain level after, before 11 a.m.
I'm going to go to my walking encyclopedia. Kurt, do you know that?
So you gotta scroll.
Usually it's like after 10 a.m. on, Saturdays and stuff. So, 10 p.m. Sorry. So I
Yeah.
think you're fine as far as timing goes. 5
appreciate
o'clock,
that.
6 o'clock in the afternoon, and
Mike-
even in the morning.
And
So
again, that's
check
our
it
meeting.
out. So check it out. My guess is that you're allowed during that time, from what Kurt is saying, the loudest decibel that Brookfield will allow. So,
Okay. I can't imagine us doing anything crazy loud anyway. I'm looking to bring in like Dan's Garage Band with Dan McKee over there at Signs and Designs.
right, moshing, all that type of good stuff. That's good.
Yeah, we're not gonna have any mosh pits. We're not gonna be doing any like metal or crazy loud. Just some. I was kicking around like this, little quote unquote concerts on the green, so to speak. We got that nice big piece of lawn. We got the nice deck. We're just trying to think of creative ways to, kind of bring some people in and show people what we're about and what we do. And I thought some good live music on a Saturday afternoon would be a good way to do that. And just wanted to make
Joe-
sure you guys are cool with it. So you're
Joe,
saying
this
I
is-
do
this
have a
is-
30-day trial?
Joe, this is
Period.
Frank Wolk.
If it's granted, it's for 30 days.
Okay, how come it doesn't change to who's talking? I'm sorry.
Sorry, this is Frank Woke. Fran, the last time or the time before that mentioned it would be acoustic music, amplified acoustic, or is it going to be amplified electric?
So we're currently doing acoustic now on the deck, Fridays from 6 to 8. This would be a little bit big. This would be like, that's just a guy and a guitar, 2 guys and a guitar,
Mhm.
with a small amp singing. But this would be, I would be looking for bands with drummers, guitars. So it would definitely be a little bit on the louder side versus what we're doing now.
Okay.
Which is kind of why I want to do it set back on that lawn. So it's further away from the street and further
Right.
away from where, the condos are.
Sure.
I want to kind of keep it set back. And that's also why I'm thinking more like middays on weekends and not that 6 to 8 or 7 to 9 time frame, because I don't
Right.
want to upset my neighbors either. I want to respect them and their privacy.
And Francis, here's the nice thing is that he still has to abide by Brookfield's decibel levels anyways
Sure.
during that time. So we don't even have to worry about what he's doing because he still has that other ordinance that's
Right.
controlling it.
Okay.
Any other
I assume
questions?
I can find that ordinance on the Brookfield.gov page or.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay, and just if we do like a 30-day trial, which I'm sure will probably go fine. 30 days technically puts it right after our last June meeting, and then we don't have another meeting until July 22nd. So I don't want to lose you in like a loophole of the calendar. So I don't know, would it be good to come back on the 24th to get it extended, or?
That would be fine with me if it's fine with you guys, so you don't have
Yeah.
to do it for a month and then shut it down for a month while you guys
Yeah.
are.
The best
Well, we
time
didn't-
of the year, we don't,
It wouldn't even been that, Joe. We would have granted you to July, but I don't want to, at least for me personally, I don't want to go 50 days. I'd rather go less than 30 days just to make sure that the neighbors are okay.
Yeah,
That's
and again, and that's I totally understand that, and I appreciate that. And again, I'm looking for lower key bands. I'm not looking for like AC/DC cover bands. You know, one of my bands is a jam band cover bands. They do like Grateful Dead, Allman Brothers. I don't think they're gonna be blowing anybody's doors off.
And honestly, what we're hoping that happens is that, because it's 30 days at a time that you have to come do it, we make it as easy as possible for you. But then you and your neighbors control yourself. Because,
Right.
If nobody complains and there's no issues and no problems, and you do what you need to do so you can make money and recover it. So we like it to be our zoning commission to be as non-policing as possible so that you guys can self-police yourself, really.
Great. I appreciate that too. That's are you allowed to tell me if I was with Mike today. I could have asked him, but I don't think he had any complaints with his 30-day trial, right? Over at Twins.
I asked Fran today and he said no.
Yeah,
No.
And I drove by when the band was going. I stopped over at the Bertram property. I forget what it's called. Anyway, I didn't even hear the band when the traffic was going by. So it was quiet enough. They were a quarter mile away. And I didn't see any issue there myself personally when they were playing. And it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They were amplified. Just it may have been Dan's Garage Band or someone like them.
It was
So,
Dan's band.
Oh, and I talked with a resident as they came out, and she didn't even realize there was a band playing. So
That's good. That's good.
For them. It was okay.
He's got a little bit more space than I do between him and the residential, but I think we'll be okay. And if I get a complaint, I'll pull the plug on it pretty quickly. I'm not looking to.
Well,
I'm looking to make friends, not enemies in town.
Yeah.
You jump.
But you also have traffic going by in between there too, so that's a dampener.
Right. And we did the drive-in movie last year, but that was all in the car. So, all the noises in the car, so there was no shot of anything with that. The other thing I think Fran had said, I didn't put this on my application, so this may have to wait for another time, but I was thinking of having some local youth artists do a mural on the side of the building facing, if you're going from Brookfield to New Milford, it wouldn't be a JJ Stacks mural. I was looking for somebody to come do like something Brookfield oriented, like Candlewood Lake or Bobcat oriented. So I don't know if that's something I have to put a different application in for.
So Joe, here's the thing. Signs. So what constitutes a sign could be completely different. So I would have you do a markup and hand it over to Fran, because if it looks like a sign, then you have to come to us for a sign, opposed to if it's art or something else to just regular painting. And unfortunately, you just telling us what could be possibly on there. We couldn't even tell you. So I would not make it part of your application tonight because it could fall under a sign. I would suggest.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be paired with the music then. I was just asking because I at one point was going to do a contest and have, some local artists draw up what they would want to do as a mural. And then it kind of fell flat because of everything going on. And then Fran was like, oh, I happen to see that. He goes, you may have to get approval on it. So I just wanted to ask you guys if that was something. So
well, he's right. You may. It all depends on what's going to be on the side of the building.
Yeah. I mean, my ideal would be a mural of Candlewood Lake, the Brookfield side of Candlewood Lake. But if I do go forward with that, I'll draw it up and get it to you guys before I begin any artwork or.
Okay, perfect.
Anything like that. So with this music thing, with this provisional, if I wanted to put like a small removable structure, call it a stage, but it's not going to be a stage. It's going to be like, I guess it is going to be a stage, but like a little 6-foot structure. So bands aren't like setting up in the mud and in the dirt. Would that be okay for the month or?
If you're talking about a removable structure where you take it down after the band's doing, that's completely different. I mean, you might, whatever you're doing, that's a structure, you're going to have to go to building department. That's completely different than we are. That's a building department question.
Okay, so I'll ask them if I'm allowed to just build like a little 6x6 platform. That I could.
Yeah,
I have to tell. That's a building department
question. They're going to go with safety. They're going to go with everything else. We're zoning. We're property. We're property rights. We're loudness, music, space from property, all that type of stuff.
Got it. All right. So as far as you're concerned, I'm good to go for 30 days. I'll be back on the 24th.
Not yet, Joe. We got to vote
Oh.
on it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve application Z-21-42 as amended for Saturdays from 12 to 6 p.m., Sundays from 12 to 5 p.m., and it will hold until our next regular meeting.
Well, actually, the one after that, June 24th.
Excuse me, that's what all right, so July 24th. Our next regular meeting in July, I shall say, because we only have one.
June
June.
24th.
June 24th.
Oh,
June
we're
24th.
going shorter. I thought we were going longer.
No,
All right.
June 24th.
24th then, okay.
Okay, second.
Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I abstained because conflict. All right, so it's passed, Joe.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And thanks for
Okay.
answering all my questions.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Joe.
Good
And,
luck.
Bye.
Make
you,
sure
Thanks,
if
Joe.
you
Good
want
night.
to do this again, that you come back on that June 24th meeting.
Yes, I will make sure I'm there.
Okay, perfect. Good luck.
Thank you very much,
Hope the
guys.
best
Thank
for
you. Bye.
All right, so we got new business. 8A, 277 Wiskineer Road, New Brookfield Market and Deli, application Z-21-52, site plan modification for a generator. Anybody here for that? Nope,
The deli?
it's the deli. Nobody here from the deli? All right, I'm gonna skip over. I don't like to do applications where the applicant's not present to at least tell us what things are going. On to 8B, 40 Old New Milford Road, application Z-21-53. This public hearing can be scheduled for 6/24-21. Do I have a motion?
Sure. I move that we set June 24th, 2021 as the public hearing date for Z-21-53. That's 40 Old New Milford Road for a special permit application to convert office space to an apartment.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
On to 315 Candlewood Lake Road, application Z-21-56. That can be set for a public hearing as well for 6/24. Do I have a motion?
I move that we set June 24th, 2021 as a public hearing date for Z-21-57. That's 315 Candlewood Lake Road, which is an application for an accessory apartment in the basement of a house.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, on to 849 Federal Road, Taco Bachi, application Z-21-56. Anybody here? No? Okay, and that we can't even discuss because we don't have timings, we don't have anything on that, so we're gonna move on to informal discussion, 1030 Federal Road, Newberry Inn. Anybody here on that?
Yes, that's me. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Steve.
Hey, thanks for your time. So the Newberry Inn's a hotel that's been vacant. They went bust. I'm thinking that maybe if it got improved with other amenities, it might be more viable. And what I'm thinking of is to list, keep the property as it exists, but just add to the rooms something that would be like maybe some of the units, maybe a dozen or so, have small kitchenettes, like small cooktops that are built into the counter, a small sink, and the mini fridges. So I was thinking about maybe making that not full size, but a little bit larger in the existing rooms where they already are, and then that's in the rear building, and then the front building, none of that exists. So all you have there is basically a bathroom, and then adjacent to the bathroom is a sink, so that if you're in a hotel room and someone's using the bathroom, at least you can use the sink. So there's two sinks there already, and then there's just a closet area and then the general room. So thinking about reconfiguring the sink that's outside of the bathroom and make that like a small area for a kitchenette, let's say. So just basically not touching the outside, but adding those amenities to the interior, so those features would become more attractive and more marketable to, say, someone wanting to come up. because everything is getting built now. And I'm thinking, we got to bring it up to like maybe what's being built now, rooms, they have extended stay, they have more amenities and stuff like that. Also, they have a hotel laundry service, and there's no extra demand because they would just be removing one sink, and that would become like a kitchen sink. So that's on the sewer system. It's currently its own private water supply system. So that's another thing that I'm thinking is to maybe connect to the main. I don't know if that's part of zoning, but the interior features to improve the amenities in the room is basically what I'm asking in a general way.
Well, Steve,
That
can
would-
I interrupt you for a second? Because I'm a little bit confused. Are you looking at keeping this into a hotel again, or because before they were looking at transient, or they're not transient, but at apartments?
Well, I don't know what the demand would be. The proposals that have been talked about are converting, let's say, 2 rooms into 1 apartment, so that like one of the rooms would become the living room, kitchen, and then a pass through to one of the other units would be a
That's what they
bedroom.
That's what they discussed with us before. So I'm just kind of, are
I
you
see the-
jumping to a different proposal?
So I have that information that I got approved for that, and to just say, let's say, test the waters. We just tried this with those rooms, so the approval for adding those kitchens would I apparently approved or accepted, in a preliminary stage. So I was just kind of juggling things around, different ideas as to maybe putting that into all 47 of the rooms, or not all 47, because I think about a dozen of them already have that layout. So it would be adding it to the front building, which would be approximately 32.
Are you looking at making these long-term apartments or as it is now?
I think that with all the stuff going up now, the rents are so exorbitant that there might be a market for people that work at the places that everyone shops at. Everything is just so unaffordable now that this might be an opportunity for people to get themselves going, save up money until they can maybe move on to something bigger and better. So I'm thinking entry level, I'm thinking studio style. So that would be a minimal cost for, doing it in that way, and then seeing how that goes. If the unit mix isn't there, then, combining the units as was approved into maybe 2 units into 1. So, you have studio and 1 unit mixes, etc. That would be something that I'm really not sure what the best approach would be. It's an experiment. I don't know if it would work the way it is now. To say that, you're going to make it like everything now is luxury, but this property, rear end is super 7. The front is 7. To the one side is, a rundown, a restaurant, and then the public works department is next door. So I don't see this becoming like, luxury housing.
Hi, this is Kurt Timmerman, but I guess the question that the chairman is trying to ask is, we were presented with changing a hotel, which is more of a short-term rental, sort of transient people, into an apartment situation where people lease for a year or so. And it sounds almost like you're talking about maybe it's more like a hotel, back to a hotel in a different configuration of a hotel. Or are you talking about rental apartments, but of single and studios rather than having too many doubles?
Okay. Yes. So I believe that what I'm inquiring about is to make them be more in line with, let's say, apartments as opposed to a hotel room. The dynamics of having someone at a front desk, et cetera, with, waiting for someone to book a room wouldn't really fit into my model. So I think that it would be for, residents to be there for like 1-year terms, 5-year, however long they wanted to renew. So it would be for residential, not for hotel use.
Right. So us as a commission, we're regulatory, we're permissive. So if it's allowed in our zoning, we can allow it. And when the last came through and they wanted to combine it into bigger rooms and less apartments, we discussed with how they can get partially there, but because of clustering, we can't get them all the way there. They would have to go to ZBA. And now if you're talking about making them even smaller, we're way outside what this permissive zoning commission can do. You literally have to take this and go talk to ZBA. Even if we as a zoning board thought this was the greatest idea in the world, there's nothing we can do about it because we're permissive.
Okay. So right now there's 46 rooms on the property, and you have approval for 36 with combining the existing building into 19 units.
Well, first off, I don't think we had any approvals. I think we discussed it and they were going to go to ZBA, and we said informally, this is where you can go and we can do something, but you have to go to ZBA for the regular thing. There's no approvals here whatsoever. We were just trying to help out people like you to go, hey, listen, we don't want you wasting or spending your money. Come to us and talk to us beforehand, and we can tell you what we're looking at as a zoning commission. But until we vote, you won't know. And, I'm going to tell you right now, from my perspective as the chair, and I'm only one person on this board, what you're asking to do is well beyond our zoning. You're going to have to go to ZBA. I'm not in favor of approval of that at all. And I'm going to be dead honest with you, because I wish if I had to come before someone, they'd be dead honest with me.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah. So this sounds like you need to be going before ZBA, because our regs doesn't even allow it. You would have to come to us for a zoning change to our regulations for this to allow it. And I think that, I can have a sense of the commission that they're not going to approve something like that. So I don't want you to waste your time. I would say you would have to go more to ZBA for something like that.
Right.
And they're a completely different organization. I can't tell you how they may or may not rule. And I can't even tell you how this commission will rule. I can just tell you the sentiments of what happened on the last one, which wasn't too long ago, was that we were still a little hesitant about the clustering they were doing. And that was nowhere near the amount of clustering you want.
Yeah, and in fact, they came in front of us for a zone change, 2 aspects of it. One was the minimum square footage, which we changed from 5 acres to 4, which they had 4.5, and we agreed with that. But the one thing we did not agree and voted down was the density of housing, because we thought is too high and it opened it up too much for other properties in the same zone. So we rejected that density, though we looked somewhat favorably on the last clustering because it wasn't too much, but we didn't want it to go any further than that. And like the chairman said, they had to go to ZBA anyway. But like he also said, this is beyond that. So I think our sentiments for density from the last no vote just indicates that this would be more of a no, trying to get higher density in there.
Okay. So if we look at the building's gross livable area on that and the acreage, is that a formula that gets calculated, or it's strictly a unit count?
It was units per acreage. Yeah. There's a regulation specifically on that.
What is that requirement, zoning unit per acre?
I don't have it in front of me because I'm on the road today, but I would have to look back. I talk to Fran and get back to you on that. But if you look at our meeting, when was that? A couple months ago, or maybe 3 months ago? I mean, if it's the Hollies, they came in front of us about their property, and it was that zone change in that meeting where we discussed that very density, the density itself. And they had a number they wanted, and we had a number that was existing. Yeah, I can look that up and get it back to you through Fran.
Okay.
Fran's not here tonight.
But regardless, even the preliminary discussion that was that had taken place already exceeded the minimum requirements, so that ZBA was coming into play regardless. And this is asking for more of what's not permitted.
Right.
All right, now it is okay to keep it going as a hotel, though. Is that
It's permitted already, yeah.
permitted already? And to add amenities like
That
all
can only
hotel-
help.
Yeah.
all hotel rooms have refrigerators, have sinks. 99% of them have microwaves. So what's to keep someone from just getting around it by just saying, okay, here's a room for rent that's kind of like a hotel room. You then get really seedy clientele, people that like are more transient instead of someone that, is in the community, wants a nice place. Like in New York City, not too long ago, they were putting homeless people in hotels in the Upper West Side. All the neighbors complained. So I understand that there's like a balance. You want to have a stable community with safe housing, etc. But there are hotels that have people living there long term.
And there's rules to
And Steve, I
make
think
them to check out and check back in. I know there'll be games to play.
No, yeah, which is not something I want to do, but that's the reality of.
well, at the end of the day, Steve, though, your argument that you're making to right now is before the wrong board. Again, we're permissive. We have to follow our zoning regulations. You want to make that argument before the ZBA. They can change our regulations and they can give you an appeal to it and allow you to do something. We can't. We have to determine what you want to do if it falls into our regulations. If it falls into the regulations, we can approve it. If it doesn't fall into the regulations, we have to deny it. It's not like we have a choice, even if we thought it's the best thing in the world for the town. We have to deny it because we're a permissive board. So, I mean, the greatest arguments in the world are going to fall on deaf ears, even if we get up, stand, and clap, because there's nothing at the end of the day that we can do. So I wouldn't waste that energy on us.
Okay. No, that's what the purpose of the meeting was. So I'll look forward to hearing back from Fran regarding the units per acre count, because with 4.5 acres, it'd be interesting to see what would be the number would be.
But did you ever go back and look at the minutes of the meeting from 3 months ago?
Lucky I'm on Zoom right now, so I don't know how to go about that, but I'll have one of my kids help me.
Suggest you do that, because we really worked with those owners to get them part of the way there. We really
I'll
did.
look into that, Eric. Thank you.
No problem. And again, I hope that you could do what you need to do. Godspeed.
Thank you for your time.
Excuse me, real quick. I didn't get your last name for the record.
Okay, Palmiotto, Palmiotto.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we have no other informal discussions, but I see Dan is online. So Dan, did you want to have an informal discussion again? I
Can't
still
hear you, Dan.
I don't know why.
can't hear you, Dan.
Can't hear you, Dan.
Dan says no, he has no informal discussions.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Wow, that makes you respond.
I know it was purely technical difficulties.
All right, Dan. So what do you have tonight?
Yeah. No, and I'm sorry I'm not on the agenda. I had called for
Okay.
Fran, but I guess he's out. So, I had been in last time, and actually, maybe everybody but Eric was there. But maybe, do you mind if I go back to a couple things I showed at the last to set context, and then we made a pretty picture. That's essentially what we have for tonight. So, can I share my screen?
Sure, just give me 1 second. I'll make you a co-host.
Right, thank
Tony,
you.
were you at the last meeting? Oh, okay. So then I pretty much spoke. I'll tell you.
You should be all set now.
Okay, thank you.
You're the one making the noise.
Okay, how's that?
You have an echo.
Sorry?
Does anyone else have an echo?
Yeah, I don't think that's coming from,
Hello.
That's
Hi, this is Mahmood, 277 Wiskania Road.
For the deli.
right.
Yeah,
oh, for the deli? Okay, would
Yes.
you like me to stop and go to that? Or what would you
well,
prefer?
I had a problem to get in. So I was listening all this meeting, but I have any difficulties I have to download Zoom on my phone to get in, but I listen all the hearing.
Oh,
Yeah. Why
oh,
don't-
okay. We'll come back. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so, all right.
Okay.
So we had taken the concept from 2 meetings ago and essentially applied it to a site plan that showed up really kind of in the form of 4 buildings. And this is what I showed last time, Eric. And so 3 buildings here, 1, 2, 3, a centralized parking lot, and then 1 more over here. This is in contrast to what we have, let's see. Approval is 3 larger buildings and then 5 smaller ones across the back of the retail. And so bringing it in gave us a better layout essentially. And to give it some context as to how it fit in with the overall Barnbeck Place, I'll show you this because we are really looking at this as a phase 2. This gives a sense for all in scale, the building relative size to the existing complex, the south building, the north building, and then the beginning of this across the back of the retail spaces. So that kind of sets the context. We had projected 137. We came in at 138 based on just the visibility by 3. These are all 3-story buildings, and the parking calculations, we've stayed within the gross areas of net rentable space. And I think we went from maybe 206 parking spaces to 212. So there's really negligible impact. We had gone over also, we go back to this one, some of the planting beyond just kind of bringing this into 4 buildings, the idea of planting the back slope above the, this right through here, behind the retaining walls. This line right here is what you would see that has already been built before the back slope goes up. And on the side of the site from here down is pretty fully wooded now. It's been more cleared on this side. And so we had said that we would come back with, just to kind of bring this more to life, with an actual rendering showing what we had in mind. And just because it's the process, of course, is to get this right 2-dimensionally, but then to show 3-dimensionally what you have in mind. We ended up doing a rendering from this point of view out on the road perspective, and then another one up closer to the building. I got pushback from like what the value of doing one over here, because it's kind of a mirror image of this and it's more wooded. And so they basically, the architects were saying, well, I think we should do one from the road, which will give you the idea, because you actually do see on the rendering I'm about to show this building, and part of this building. So that really does tell the whole story. And then, like I say, we view this wooded area as, to the extent that it's got spottiness to it, we fill it in a little bit, right? Because we actually want the wooded area as much as we can have it. So in terms of pretty pictures, that takes us to this here. So if we look at, I mean, again, probably one thing that's nice about doing renderings is that you don't really have to talk much, right? So, you know, this is the building. This is all in scale to what, you know, the grades are there and where we see landscaping. We had Nick over at CCA working with Maura from 72 Architects to get representative landscaping in terms of what the vision is. This is never perfect, but this definitely is, from a massing perspective, from the general look, matching the palette that was used at Farmbeck Phase 1, where it's a fieldstone lower, that first level that's high grade, and then kind of the gray tone going up. And so if we go here, so this is what you'd see when you're driving by. And then this perspective shot is more once you drive up into the place, just to give a little more sense of what the buildings would look like. So the idea really, as we talked about before, in terms of what's approved already, are these very flat surfaces that are, I don't know, more barracky, for lack of a better word. And so we're trying to bring a little more sophistication to it while still getting the density that makes the affordability component of this approval work. So that's actually what I came back with. So, I mean, I you know, it's the picture, like I say, tells 1,000 words probably, but.
This helps a lot.
Really pretty. Looks really nice.
Yeah, I like the look.
Thank you. Thank you. So any negative feedback, or should I come back and apply for this?
I think, weren't we hung up on whether he needs to do it, we can do a site modification, or?
Yeah, no, that was, for sure, Leslie, that was sort of the open question, that if I came back with a picture that people liked, right, then the next step would be to, you know, make it official somehow, submit, and to whom would we submit and how and when and all that type of stuff, because we've already stayed within the parameters of the existing approval as it relates to wetlands. I mean, CCA had some very strict parameters so that we would not need to revisit certain key assumptions for the other commissions. And even the before and after on the WPCA calculations is de minimis because of the unit mixing that we've discussed in prior meetings.
Yeah, and Eric, you know, usually when you have to go back beyond a site plan is when you go over 25% different increase in building area and stuff. And this is not even close to that. This is zero, you know.
No, there's more apartments here. How many percent is more?
So we're at 112 to 138, so we could do that calculation. In terms of area, I think was Kurt's point. We're staying within the area, but sure, so we can calculate that.
So we're 19% more units. So
yeah, 25% is the trigger.
Well, great.
You know, it's one of those things where I think, and I'm not going to talk for Tony, but still, you know, it's a nice looking site plan. You know, everything's there. It's definitely, I'm going to tell you right now, it's definitely more aesthetically pleasing than the one that was before us. And unfortunately, I still can't get around just the more units, you know, just the more condensing, even though I'm going to tell you right now, you did a lot better job than the last applicant. So maybe it's just time for me, and that's just me personally, you know. It's the numbers. I wish you could create the same visually pleasing thing with the same numbers that we had before. That's all.
No, I get it.
Dan, we looked at the number of bedrooms, right? The number of bedrooms actually.
Yeah, if I go to that, we're going from 186 bedrooms to 177. I mean, the high level talking points in terms of impact on schools and all that, where we're going from 74 2 bedrooms down to 30, Let's see, what is it,
Are
30?
any of these having dens?
What's that?
Do any of them have dens? They're classified
Oh,
as
you mean like a 2-bedroom with den?
or a 1 bedroom with the den? Yeah.
No, we're not playing any games on the unit sizes, and it's largely it's driven by the affordability requirements. That's what makes them, which drives them to be smaller, right? That's how you make the numbers work on the, that set aside of the 60% area median income and the 80%. It just, you need to make the units smaller, but like I say, and I've talked about this in the prior meeting. We try to keep the finishes up for all of them because it's just a nicer overall product and a nicer overall thing to do for society, frankly. So
I'll tell you what, Dan, obviously, this is an informal. We can't tell you anything before you come formally to us, but you do build an impressive building. You do well for the community. So do what you got to do.
No, I appreciate that.
I think with what you're trying to do, I think you're doing the best you can do. Am I personally happy with the amount of units? No, but you did put together a better project than the last applicant. How's that? That I can see.
I appreciate that, and I think it's always a balancing act, right? And so it's a puzzle, and honestly, even at this, it barely works, but it does work, and therefore, because the trick right now is the construction costs going up, and the affordability headwind that doesn't move up in real time with it, right? Because it's got to turn into a wage and move an area median income metric up. So it gets tricky to pencil these things out.
Yeah, I get it. I got a lot of builders.
No, I know. But I guess all I would ask is what, and maybe I can follow up with Fran or Allison or council or anything, just in terms of what the most efficient process is to. Because I won't move on this, obviously, in terms of like closing on the land without an approval, right? I mean, I just got to be able to build it, right? But just looking for guidance on what I should do to pursue such a modification.
Well, I would say that you do not have an application that is repulsive. How's that? So
I'll call that praise. I feel like the prettiest girl at the dance.
You're not repulsive. Wow.
Go back and see from our town attorney if we are able to accept it underneath the prior or what way it needs to be proposed before us.
Right. And just for the record, by the way, you say that 19% difference, it's actually 23% because when you divide, the denominator is the original number. So it's a 26 divided by the original 112.
I ran that also when Kurt was saying that, but it's under 25.
Yes,
so
it is under 25. Yep, I just didn't want people going away with that 19% number in their head. It's still under 25.
I'm an attorney, not a mathematician.
I was just going to say, former math teacher.
I was the math teacher, not the attorney.
All good. Okay, so then we'll kind of follow up with the town staff to ask for some insight as there's some time to process it. I appreciate not repulsive as feedback, and I'll see what we can do for the next step.
Literally,
for the record, I think it's beautiful. Not repulsive is a little harsh, Eric.
Yeah, you weren't here before with the other applicant. That's why. It was. And
there's
I think
a little PTSD, right?
Tony, you could probably say me not saying non-repulsive is
Yeah, no, it's a big deal.
probably a big, huge compliment.
It's a huge compliment because I just want to say it really does fit that area well. It looks great compared to what it doesn't compare to what was shoved down our throats. So thank you for the efforts, Dan. And, there's other logistics to work out, but good luck because we appreciate the effort and not forcing us to do something we're not interested in. So thank you for making the.
And the decrease in bedrooms mitigates the amount of units to some extent. And Barnbeck's been very well received, just 2 properties south. So this fits.
So how about this, Dan? We'll take away what I said, not being so repulsive, and I'll go with what Tony said. How's that?
Well, thank you.
We don't have him to beautiful yet, but
You may never get there.
that's okay.
That's okay.
It's a process.
All right. No, and I feel good about proceeding. So we'll push forward as quickly as we can and try to get this thing going. So I appreciate the time and the feedback.
All right, Dan, thanks. Have a safe
Best of
week.
luck.
All right. Have a good holiday weekend, everybody.
You too. Thank you, Dan.
Bye-bye.
All right, so we're back to, where was it on here?
New business, number A.
Thank you.
Number A, yeah.
Oh, that was the 277 Liskiner Road. Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
for the generator.
All right, so the applicant's on board for application Z-21-52.
It was Mr. Mahmood. Or sorry, Mr. Akhtar.
He's connecting to audio. I don't know if he has computer problems again.
Oh no, we had him for a minute before.
That one's been connecting the whole time. The other one was working though.
Now the other one's connecting to audio.
It's the site plan that we
Oh,
have.
there he is.
Yeah,
There we go.
sorry.
That's
No
okay.
problem.
It's, yeah, we will like to put it in the generator. And I call Mike and France, ask them first. They pointed to me where we have to do that. So then we applied it and we waiting for them and then told me to, we have to get into the meeting. I had a hard time to get in. I don't know.
Is
Generator location, that's to the rear of the building, correct?
Yes, side of the barn and rear of the building.
How far away is it from the building? It doesn't show on there.
It's he said 3 foot, and building to the generator is probably 10 feet, and barn to the generator is 3 feet.
Is it behind the barn or behind the building?
No, behind the building, side of the barn.
Okay, and why is it 10 feet from the building and not 5?
Because there is the landing, there's a stairs coming from upstairs to them, and also there's a cylinder and one the dumpster. They don't want to block that the way out. They just want it to be, they say this is going to be safe. Is the size of the barn where the barn walls start and the generator start from there to back. So
All right, because I think our regulation says it has to be within 5 feet of the building.
it is like a 5 feet on the building, but
It is within 5 feet of the building?
yes.
Okay, I thought you said 10 feet.
yeah.
No, I say we have a gap between building and generator 10 feet, but it's 5 feet from to the barn. There is like a barn and a building, that's two separate.
You know, Eric, I'm looking at it and I hate to be a stickler about it, but I'm looking at the site plan without the measurements. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yep.
And also, I'm very curious what kind of generator it is. If it's gas or propane, there's a stream there that has a history of being polluted. So I'd be worried about potential pollution going in there. And it just without the measurements, it looks very close to property lines. I'd be uncomfortable voting on this without knowing the exact measurements of where you plan to put this.
Well, property line to generator will be at 10 feet.
See, and that's a good point because with what you presented, it's touching the line. So I
did not present it. I mean, Mike and a friend, they measure it and then they will select the point that give me the location over here will be okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe, I don't know. It's a lot to ask for, I feel, for a generator, but it's very vague what I'm looking at right now, very vague.
Yeah, I agree, Tony, because, you know, just like with Chick-fil-A, if we don't have actual measurements, then we could approve something from a drawing that is not accurate. And we don't want to approve something we don't understand and we know the exact number.
Oh, so, well, that's up to them. That's what I'm asking them to, can you measure this one? Can we put the...
I guess what we're saying is we need a better drawing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with distances, you know, and show the distance away from the building, the distance away from the property line. the size
Okay.
of the pad, how big the pad is going to be.
Okay.
And to Tony's point, what's the fuel that's going to be used? Is it going to be gas? Is it going to be propane? Details like that. We like to know details so we know exactly what we're approving.
Is it diesel generator? I mean,
It's diesel?
yes.
And then where's the tank located?
Or tank built into it. This is Army generator, like we bought it, and is a tank built into it under the motor, and the generator is only portable box combined, say 36 by 72.
Okay, then you also have to show us underneath, we'd like a picture underneath, what is the containment for if the diesel should leak.
Okay.
Okay,
There is a double wall tank underneath anyway. We can show that one.
yeah, so
And-
you show us
yeah.
that, like, if the whole entire generator should leak its diesel, it's contained completely within some sort of pad.
I
Yeah.
understand that. There is like a covered by, like a tank is on the top, there is another tank, and also they have a valve on the side. If the leak goes in there to there, as a valve, you can drain or you can do whatever.
Mhm.
It's
Okay.
a army generator. It's not like a for
Well, yeah, I was in the Army, and when you tell me an Army generator, I'm not very confident about those.
I mean, I use generator. I mean, it's not. I understand that. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
saying-
just teasing you, sir. I was in the Army for 12 years, so when I
Oh.
think our stuff and our material, that's not one that I would always think was built like perfectly awesome.
Okay.
But
Well,
on the side note, all we need from you is a better drawing showing the distance from the property line and the building. Our regs
Okay.
say, it has to be within the setbacks and also has to be at least 5 feet forward to the building, unless your
Okay.
specifications in the generator says it needs to be further due to safety issues. And then we
Okay.
want to see the containment issue of if all the diesel should leak out of it. And just on the application, right, it's a diesel generator, 24,000 watts, whatever it may be.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
have a picture of
That's
it.
all the facts we need, right, Kurt?
Yeah.
And-
You
Yeah.
want to add the picture, Vesru?
Yeah, if you have a picture or if you have a data sheet, if you have a data
Okay.
sheet on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I do have another issue with the site is the illegal lights. You, sir, you have some outside lights that
Yes.
are commercial lights that are, the problem in the town center district is those lights are too white. They have to be warm white. They have to be more yellow, like warm white, 3,500 degrees Kelvin color.
Okay.
And they cannot shine outward. They have to have a cutoff. They have to shine down. I understand they're commercial lights and they're for security, but they're not allowed in that zone. So you can talk to Fran about the appropriate lights. I believe you have 3 of them
Yeah.
outside your property,
Yeah.
lighting
3
up.
lights.
It doesn't work well with the feel we want in the town center district. They're too bright and garish, or too glary, wrong color and wrong direction. So
Agreed. I drove by, Kurt, at your recommendation. I 100% agree.
Fran, you can talk to Fran about it. I told him some lights that look nice, that would be appropriate in that area,
Oh,
and
I
that
mean,
are still
those
security
those-
lights.
Those lights, I'm sorry. Those light is adjustable. We can facing to the street. We can face to down too as well. I mean, we can do that
Yeah.
on the down.
That
Is
would be
okay to
fine,
that?
except for the color. The color is the wrong color. It's too white.
Okay.
It's got to be yellow. It's got to be yellow. So there's versions of those lights. Maybe you can trade them in for something different color.
No,
But
we
the
can
Fran-
we can change the lens. There is a lens open, and we can put them in inside and the yellow and it be yellow color. They are very expensive. Light is not cheap, but you can do that.
Yeah, I understand they're LED lights, but the color temperature is probably 4,000 or 5,000 Kelvin, and that's not allowed in the zone. So,
Okay.
So whatever you can do to change the color, that
Okay.
yeah. So,
Okay.
so I would say that in addition to the information about the generator.
No problem. We will do that.
Okay.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you, sir. Thank you for being so accommodating.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much.
Okay, and our next meeting's June 10th, so it's not far away. So definitely try to get in by June 10th Because then once we hit July, we're at once a month, I think, for July and August, right,
Right.
Mary?
I hope before July, June 10 is not any
Get
storm.
it in by June 10th, we'll be here.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good
Good
night.
night, guys.
Good
Thanks.
night.
So do you want a motion to continue this to the next meeting?
Yeah, we should probably do that.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to continue application Z-21-52 to our next regular meeting.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
On that, we should probably continue the one that didn't show up either for 8D.
Rocco Bacci.
Yep.
All right, I'll make a
If it
motion.
comes
to
next week,
Mhm.
it's continued.
Okay,
Have a motion on that?
I'll let somebody else make it.
It could be your parting gift to us.
Yeah. All right, I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
Application.
Your last motion.
21-56 to our next regular meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
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 So I do have some good news for the rest of the commission. This is not going to be, well, I have some good news for the rest of the commission, some bad news for Tony, because I am Tony's attorney on this one. Good news is Tony will probably be around for June 10th. The bad news is Tony, you're not moving into your house before June 10th.
Oh, no.
What?
This is news to me.
I don't think this is the forum for surprising somebody with bad news like that, Eric.
He knows I'm joking, but we'll miss you, Tony.
I appreciate
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
miss
I've
all
been
of
on
you.
the board with you for a long time, and not only you've been an excellent commissioner, but you've been a great friend too. So
Thank
I appreciate everything you've brought to both the commission and actually to my life, man. So we'll definitely get beers afterwards.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's open to all of you. So thank you all. And what impresses me about our group, which I doubt is in other towns, is that we're all good people and we all want what's best for the town here. And that's a recipe for success. And this commission has that. So I'm impressed with all of you. And I'm happy I was a part of this. And I've said it at the last meeting, Eric, but I'll say it again. I learned so much about myself and about life, and I got so much out of this that I can't even tell you. So this was a great experience for me, and I'm really appreciative that I had the opportunity to be a part of it.
I'll tell you right now, Tony, if I had the ability to cry, I would have.
No, but I'm being honest. I'm being
great. And, our friendship is going to continue well after this. And to go on that, and the reason why I like this board right now is that I look around and everybody brings something different with different opinions. And that's what a commission needs, because you don't need everybody to agree with each other. You need everybody to challenge each other. So it is a good board. And I think from what I've been hearing, the feedback from people and businesses here is that they like the board because no matter what, they are heard by at least somebody or some two people on this board, and somebody will be fighting for them. So with that, Tony, do you want to make the final motion?
I make a motion to adjourn, and thank you all again. Thank you.
Miss
See ya,
you,
Tony.
Tony. Good luck. Don't be
Bye.
a stranger.
I won't be. Take
All
care.
right.
All right.
Good night.
Bye, Tony.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Have a
You
good
too.
weekend.
You say,
Bye.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I didn't want to say anything and ruin that touching moment. I was just going to make it up.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
All right,
Love
bye.
you, Tony.
Love you.